just kind of watching a lot of white identity extremism occur and not be labeled as such. But otherwise, things are great.
Do black men have more power than black women?
Of course they do.
Why are black people so weak that they allow this to happen?
Well, I wouldn't say the question would be why are black people so weak. The question would be is why is white supremacy so diabolical and savage? Like I got time for that.
Hey guys, if you are looking for a new car, stop by carmarshal.com. They have an inventory of over 100,000 vehicles, new and used, and they're the link in the description box that you can click on and access this website. You shop, they'll negotiate at carmarshal.com. Hey guys, I wanted to come on here and talk about this story that a lot of people keep sending me. So shout out to the people who keep emailing me about this story. I know that you guys want to hear about it. So, I think I remember telling Taylor Scott yesterday during my interview with Gab that I was going to talk about this, which I plan to. By the way, a lot of people keep asking me about doing stories, and 9 times out of 10, these stories and the content is actually on Patreon. And so if you want to see those stories, you can come on to Patreon, subscribe, become a patron. All I ask is that you contribute $2, at least $2 a month. That's a very small amount. Everyone has that. There are already some people supporting it, as you can see, and I thank those people profusely. Many people who watch my channel already know that I've spoken about this before. I've discussed, the show, Chad Loves Michelle, and I kind of broke down some of the things that I saw problematic with the relationship, as I do with any interracial relationship. And that's the fact that generally the white partner have a very closed mind and closed ear and lack of empathy towards the issues of their black partner. And this was really no exception. It's funny because I was just sitting and thinking a while back, like after watching her show, how long was Michelle Williams going to allow herself to publicly be made a fool of? Because on the show, there was a number of different things that she had done, and you could tell in his mannerisms that this wasn't going to work. But there had been a lot of things that had been revealed that to me made her look foolish. One of those things being where he wanted to raise their child in a manner to where race was being ignored. That's one of the first things that should be a red flag to any swirler, but unfortunately they seem to not take issue with the fact that their partner has no sympathy or empathy towards their plight. They don't even want to hear about it. I also discussed earlier when I was discussing the show how Michelle Williams had broken up with Chad Johnson several times. Keep in mind, they've only been together for 9 months. So it's really interesting how this is a new couple less than a year in. And she's, she called off the engagement. They're not getting married. She's not even with him anymore. It kind of appears that she initiated it. And he had said on the show himself that she had broken up with him several times already throughout that process. So it sounds like she knew that this wasn't the man for her, but because she was desperate for love, because she really wanted a relationship, she was of the mindset that because she is a certain age, then she should have already been married and producing children. And I don't think that's any reason for anyone to enter in a relationship, specifically not an interracial relationship, because they are far more difficult and far less meaningless than normal relationships. That's just the reality. The fact that you come from opposing races, opposing cultures, makes the relationship that much more difficult, especially when you're in a relationship and your partner does not care about your plight in society. I mean, if you watch the show, he didn't even want racism mentioned. He felt like she was disrespecting him by even bringing up her race, which is something she has to live with on a daily basis. So I already knew that this wasn't going to work. I wasn't surprised by it. But I want to kind of get into this article a little bit because I want to see what the precipitating factors were, like what occurred this time, because they were already having a whole bunch of conflicts. But it says, it's over between Michelle Williams and Pastor Shad Johnson, according to her. The 38-year-old Destiny Child singer and Broadway star announced on her Instagram stories on Friday that the two have split 9 months after they got engaged and a month after their own reality series, Shad Loves Michelle, premiered. Is it still airing? And Johnson shared a teaser for an episode just 2 days ago. Now, what she wrote on her thing is, I still remain fearless. I guess I still remain single. Things didn't work out, Michelle wrote. The healing that needs to take place is a must. I don't want to destroy another relationship. Blessings to him, his family, and ministry. Hashtag fearless. Fearless is also the name of Williams' new single, her first in more than 3 years, which was released that day. Johnson, 41, has not commented. Now, the thing of it is what I think a lot of women should understand, regardless to what, what the race of their partner is. It is not beneficial to jump into a relationship just because you don't want to be single. Now, I get that society puts pressure on women, specifically Black women. Society will shame Black women if they are of a certain age and they are not married. And if she's still talking about she needs healing, she shouldn't have been in a relationship anyway, let alone an interracial relationship. Michelle Williams said she was suffering from depression and a lot of different other issues. And she needs to work on those issues before she gets into a relationship with anyone. I do think she's smart for ending this relationship because I think anybody with two eyes, Stevie Wonder could have even saw that this wasn't going to work out. I think throughout the process of this show, his unwillingness to be empathetic to her reality as a Black woman was blatantly disrespectful. I think the fact that he made a mockery of her mental illness and her battle with depression was extremely disrespectful. And I think that if she stayed in this relationship, she would have only been subjecting herself to more damage and more reasons why she would need to heal. I think that women need to understand that there's a benefit in allowing yourself to be single so that you can be alone, so that you don't have to fear being by yourself. Because if you just don't want to be by yourself, that means you will tolerate whatever you have to tolerate just so you can maintain a relationship, no matter how unhealthy it is. People say stuff about me all the time on YouTube, like they'll try to talk about my relationships or lack thereof, because they really don't know anything about my personal life and what I got going on over here. So they'll make speculations and they'll say, oh, she just bitter, she can't get a man. I don't care anything about that. My process is going to be my process. If I want to be single, I will be single. I actually appreciate having time without a man in my life. That doesn't mean that I don't value a man. That doesn't mean that I don't currently have one. That doesn't mean that I don't see the importance of having a man around you. I just also see the importance of being alone and being able to be around myself and in my own comfort, around my own energy, to heal on my own and to love myself on my own, and to find security in not being in a relationship. Because I think that if you are insecure about being alone and if you cannot take time being single, you're not going to function well in a relationship. You're going to end up collecting more baggage, and it's going to be dysfunctional based solely on the fact that you, as a woman, cannot be by yourself. I think that is a mistake. I think Michelle needs to sit it out for a little while. She really needs to sit it out for a little while. She's not super old. She looks really good, minus the fact that to me, she's overly skinny. I think she's way too skinny. And she said that she lost a lot of weight because of her depression. So it's taking a negative effect on her, and this relationship with Shad Johnson did not help. If you guys watch the show, she had to, and I get this sometimes with shows that's scripted. I get that. I do believe that they set up certain scenarios, but I don't think that they even really had to fake the drama and the tension and the pressure that comes with an interracial relationship, especially with a conservative man who is a Trump supporter and who has been said to have racist perspective as well as his family. And that may or may not be one of the reasons that she broke up with him. Ultimately, she's not saying why she broke up with him. But I do believe that that had something to do with it, because you can just tell by watching the show. The show was trash. Their relationship was trash, and she needed to take out the trash. So what I hope that is that she will find healing, she will find peace, that she will find comfort in being by herself, and she'll be able to work on, her depression and her other issues. And then ultimately she'll be able to find a relationship that is beneficial for her, because she barely knows this man. So during the beginning, where you're supposed to be getting to know somebody, you're supposed to be happy. That's supposed to be a honeymoon period in the first 9 months of your relationship. And she had already broken up with him 3 times. So that right there was an indication to her. And I believe that she's smart enough to know that this wasn't going to be a healthy relationship for her to be in. And I would say the same thing to any lady, regardless to whether you're a member of Destiny Child or not. You really need to understand that there is comfort and security in you being able to be by yourself and learning to love yourself and taking care of yourself before you go out and be in another relationship. Don't let somebody pressure you and tell you what year and what age and what time of your life you need to be in a relationship. Because the thing of it is if you're not ready, if you're not mentally or emotionally ready, and you have baggage you need to deal with, then go deal with that first before you jump into a relationship. And it certainly should not be, to me, in an interracial relationship. I just don't support them. I think they're counterproductive. And that's just the reality of what it is. But I do realize that people are going to be in interracial relationships, regardless to my opinion of them. And I'm not saying you have to not be in an interracial relationship, because I know people are going to do it anyway. You should be picking a man who believes that your problems are his problems. So therefore, if you have a problem with racism, he should have a problem with racism. He should not be telling you that you can't bring up the race card, that you can't acknowledge who you are as a woman and as a Black woman just to make him feel comfortable. He should want to, as a man that says that he's loving you in a relationship and wanting to marry you, he should be invested in your life and loving you to the degree that whatever you go through, he's going through it. So he should want to hear about what you have to deal with when you navigate through this society as a Black woman. He should want to. And if he doesn't, then you should not be with him. You should not be compromising and suppressing your Blackness to deal with anyone. And I want to think that Michelle Williams got tired of doing that she realized that authentically she is a Black woman, and that is something she's always going to have to deal with. And therefore, it doesn't serve her to be in a relationship with a man who finds it offensive and disrespectful for her to bring up her race. That's the difference between self-esteem. And that's why a lot of women find themselves in unhappy and dysfunctional relationships, because they want to be in a relationship so badly that they'll tolerate whatever happens. They simply just don't want to be alone. And you need to stop fearing being alone. It sounds like Michelle Williams has a problem with being single, because that's what she put in here. I still remain fearless. I still remain single. She has a problem with the fact that she is single. And I mean, that's understandable. That's okay. She wants companionship. As a human, we are wired to desire companionship. But I think she needs to take some time. She needs to deal with her issues, especially if she feels like she's destroying another relationship. Because when you have baggage, you do have a propensity to self-destruct and to engage in self-sabotaging behaviors. And she needs to go heal that. And I hope in the future we will see her with a beautiful, strong, dark-skinned Black man, sexy as hell, warrior looking. And I hope that he makes her happy and she makes him happy. And I think that she will get that type of spiritual and, emotional and intellectual, connection that she's looking for. And I hope that ultimately all Black women find that. I really do. But I think that in order to get what you want, you have to be you have to become the type of woman that's going to attract that. And in order to do that, you're going to have to spend some time alone. You're going to have to spend some time getting comfortable being by yourself, so that when you're in these relationships, you're not compromising yourself, your dignity, and your worth as a means of not being alone, which is something that you fear. But ultimately, I'm glad that she's not in this relationship. This was very good news to me. I mean, I saw it coming. I really did. I saw it coming. Anytime someone within an 8-month period breaks up with a person, there's inner turmoil telling them you don't need to be with this person. So I'm glad she listened to that finally. I'm glad that she will no longer be making herself look foolish on this show. And I really do hope that she ends up getting the type of man that she wants, and I hope that that man ends up being black. But you guys let me know what you think. Thank you for your support. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Definitely get in the comments and weigh in and let me know what you think the issue is, why you think they broke up, and do you think that, you know, as ladies, specifically black ladies, we tend to get pressured into being in a relationship just so we can have the title of being the girlfriend, the wife, and not being single anymore. You guys let me know. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.